Good morning, beloveds. So, my alarm goes off and I'm laying there and I'm like, what is that sound? It was thunder. The irony is that the sun has now come out. So my prime get up, go for a walk, do that kind of stuff, get woken up and ready for my day. It was raining. I'm just like, okay, now what? But a little while ago, I had asked my trainer for a rainy day workout, specifically because we had done a pretty strenuous workout that day and I was worried that I was going to be stiff. And one of the things that I do is I go for a walk after, the day after I work out. And then that helps me to work out some of the stiffness. And I was like, it's going to be, and then I didn't end up needing it. So I think I've done that rainy day workout 3 times since he sent it to me. And, so yeah. And, yay. But it was good. It was good. It's good to have a go-to when I need to make sure I put it back. Because where it is, I'm going to lose it. All right. I know I'm sitting in your seat. I'm sorry, sweetie. Okay. It is April 11th. Our title is Learn by Doing. Our first quote is, for the good that I would not do, but the evil which I would not that I do. And that is Romans 7:19. And then our other quote is, no matter how many mistakes we have made, we are still perfect beings within. And that is Science of Mind, page 470. Okay. If we are honest with ourselves, we probably acknowledge that there are many opportunities for doing good, which we let go by. When this happens, we may not be proud of the choice we have made, and we may do some soul searching. Could we have allowed God to work through us so we might be able to offer support, encouragement, love? Could we have done more than was expected and gone the extra mile? Did we make a hurtful remark due to anger, jealousy, or resentment? Could we have been more giving instead of waiting to receive? These are the occasions in our lives when we momentarily forget that we are spiritual beings, children of God, and we act or fail to act as a result of feeling fear in one form or another. However, we can learn from such incidents and do better next time. God always forgives, loves, and strengthens us as we continue to grow on our spiritual journey. I know that my life is God's life and that I carry within me the imprint of that perfection. I learn from every experience, recognizing opportunities to grow in consciousness. Thank you, God, for this wonderful wisdom. Okay. Learn by doing. So this is kind of that prime reason, I'm going to say reason, why I suggest that spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself every day. And I do it for 2 reasons. One, the first reason is because you deserve your own love, your own kindness, and your own compassion. The other reason is because I'm encouraging you to create a habit of love, kindness, and compassion. And it takes 21 days to create a habit, which is why I say it every day, because not everybody watches every day. Probably most of you guys just tune in once in a while. When you happen to be on Facebook at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so I say it every day, because I believe in the practice. And one of the things that I suggest is to take 3 deep breaths, especially before you say anything. Because that gives you time to think about what you're going to say, and you're going to think about what the impact of it is that you're going to say on the person that you're going to say it to, including yourself. We've talked, and I don't remember where I heard it. And I think the first time I heard it was something that Reverend Jesse said. When something happens, your first response, especially if it's a non-preferred response, isn't necessarily you. Your first response is frequently what you've been taught. It's what's been instilled in you by culture, by society, by religion. And if you're not proud of that, then you have time to work on it. Your second thought is generally who you really are. So the 3 deep breaths that I'm suggesting, no matter what's happening, give you a chance to look at the first response and choose another. But by practicing the love, the kindness, and the compassion on yourself, which is what she's talking about today. Well, it's JA. I'll find out who it is. What they're talking about is it's practice. It's practice. And that's why I say doing that loving, kind, compassionate thing for yourself is a spiritual practice, because it's about reminding us that we are spiritual beings. And it's about reminding us that that can be our first response. And for a lot of people, it already is our first response. So it's a matter of, oh, I know what you want. I forgot I put the food bowl where she can reach it. You may or may not. Yeah, there. See those ears? So it's a matter of practicing, creating the habit, creating that default setting, so that no matter what happens, you will always have a loving, kind, compassionate response. You are instilling in yourself who you are, which is a beloved child of God. All right. So April 11th, learn by doing. For the good that I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. We all make mistakes. Okay. That's Romans 7:19. Go read it. See what they're talking about. We all make mistakes. And rather than beating ourselves up for the mistake, we make amends and we move on. And we do better next time. So, so then the Science of Mind quote is, no matter how many mistakes we have made, we are still perfect beings within. We are still beloved children of God. No matter what kind of mistakes we've made, how many mistakes we've made, that is not the issue. It is. When I was the trainer at my job, that's one of the things that I said. It's like, it doesn't matter how slow you are at learning the information, learning what I am trying to teach you. What matters is that you're trying. All right. And by practicing, you'll get there. All right. Okay. So if we are honest with ourselves, we probably acknowledge that there are many opportunities for doing good, which we let go by. It happens. Sometimes we're just tired. I get it. When this happens, we may not be proud of the choice that we have made, and we may do some soul searching. But we also can make amends. We can do better. And sometimes the best thing that we can, what is it they say? The best apology is changed behavior. All right. Could we, and then this is the series of questions. Could we have allowed God to work through us so that we might be able to offer support, encouragement, or love? That's the point of the spiritual practice. All right. If your first response is love, anything else is possible. Okay. Could we have done more than was expected? Although I'm going to go and gone the extra mile. And I'm going to tell you this, in a work situation, they say people who are appreciated go the extra mile. People in your life, if you appreciate them, they will go the extra mile. So appreciate yourself and then you can go the extra mile. Did we make a hurtful remark due to anger, jealousy, or resentment? That's the point for the 3 deep breaths. Could we have been more giving instead of waiting to receive? We tend to be in this tradition, we tend to be very giving. But and receiving's not a bad thing, because sometimes that is a gift when we allow people to give to us. but it's a balance. It's a balance. We give and receive. These are the occasions in our lives when we momentarily forget that we are spiritual beings, children of God, and we act or fail to act as a result of feeling fear in one form or another. And I like that right there. It's a point out. It's like when we fail to be loving, kind, and compassionate, generally because we are in fear. If you look underneath anger, you'll find fear. If you look under jealousy, you'll find fear. If you look under resentment, you will find fear. If you look underneath pretty much any of the, what we would call a non-preferred emotional response, it's coming from a place of fear. And it's a case of being gentle with ourselves, acknowledging the fear, and then what do we need to do about the fear? However, we can learn from such incidences and do better next time. Practice, practice, practice. God always forgives, loves, and strengthens us as we continue to grow in our spiritual journey. And that is the amazing thing about being a beloved child of God. It's granted. It doesn't have to be earned, and it cannot, and it won't be taken away. It won't be taken away. So when we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, God will still be there. All right. God will never abandon us. So we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off. God says, how can I support you? You know, what is it that you need? And then you get to ask and be willing to accept. What is it that you need? God knows what you need, but until you ask for it, you may not be willing to accept it. All right. Okay. I know that my life is God's life and that I carry within me the imprint of that perfection, that wholeness. I learn from every experience, recognizing opportunities to grow in consciousness. Thank you, God, for this wonderful wisdom. Okay, so that's J.A. Oh. And let's find out who J.A. is, and then we'll move on to the mission. J.A. J.J. Where is J.A.? Oh, Jean Anderson. She's right there at the top. And it's spelled with G-E-A-N. So I think that Jean Anderson's probably, that's the, generally the lady spelling of Jean. So the mission for today, should we choose to accept it? And I'm going to say, since the title is Learn by Doing, the mission for today, should we choose to accept it, is to do something loving for ourselves, to do something kind for ourselves, to do something compassionate for ourselves, to practice on ourselves the response that we want to give to the rest of the world, no matter what happens. All right. And there are multiple ways of practicing that loving, kind, compassionate on yourself. I've already talked about doing the 3 deep breaths. It's also about, sometimes you need to take a walk. Sometimes, especially if you're in a situation where, you know, because I was in a situation where we were having this conversation and we're coming from very different religions, and I said something and they immediately went, "That's not true." And I went, "What's the loving, kind, and compassionate response here?" I said, "Clearly we should not be having this conversation." And we all stopped. Because there was not going to be a consensus. And I understand that. I wasn't going to change their mind. They weren't going to change my mind. So just to preserve the peace, it was best to just stop the conversation, to walk away from the conversation. Or you can literally go take a walk. Sometimes you need to take a nap. If you are tired, you are less likely to think before you speak. Go take a nap. It's also about really just enjoying something. Savor that cup of coffee. Enjoy all, engage all 5 senses in whatever it is that you are doing. So the mission today is the spiritual practice that I always recommend. Learn by doing. Practice on yourself. If you practice on yourself, if you can do loving, kind, compassionate for yourself, you can do it for anybody. It's easy to do on people that you love. It's easy. And then sometimes it can be hard because they'll love you no matter what. So, there's that too. So, I don't have to suggest the spiritual practice because I've already done it. It was the mission for today. Honestly, it's the mission every day. You're a beloved child of God. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. If we want to make a world that works for everybody, where do we start? Right here. Within ourselves. Okay. The rest of the story is to make sure that you do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like today. Since I couldn't go for a walk, rainy day workout. Woohoo! Thankfully, that one involves a lot of stretching because if it's raining, my knees don't always like the weather. Yay. So, that they're in myself. I did that loving, kind, compassionate. I worked out, but okay. It's also about getting some bright light early in your day. The sun is out now, so I'm going to go get some of that on my way to work. And that'll reset all those hormones, and drink plenty of water. Okay. Hydration is super important. And open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us. It's a matter of us opening up and being willing to see it. And Emma gives the best advice for this. Look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will help you find the good every time. What are you grateful for? Big and small. Because I bet you can name a whole lot of little things that you're grateful for. And those add up to the big things. So, all right. I think that's it. So, you know the drill. If you want to know what's going on at Creative Life, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. It'll tell you about the book studies. It'll tell you about, because the Zoom book studies you can drop in and out of. You don't have to show up every week like classes. And all the other things that are going on. And then, hang on, reset. We're on the social medias if you need us. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So if you need to, if you want to hear some phenomenal talks, because we're 2 weeks into the Hero's Quest and I got the second one up last night, go to Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel and click on the playlists, and they're sorted by month. They're also sorted by guest speaker and, all that. So you can find anything. The soul sessions are always a good choice. And I have a YouTube channel, which is where I archive these. So if you want to see what I've been talking about for 2 years now, go to the Running Rev Ryan, because that's what I am on all the social media platforms that I'm on. This is the Running Rev Ryan. All right. I think that's got it. So I'm going to tell you to have a good day. Great day, an amazing day, wondrous day, a fantastic day. Try to stay dry day if it's raining where you are, because it's going to rain here for the next 3 days. Yay! It's spring though. That's what it does. I get it. And have a wonderful day, an enchanting day, a magical day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. All right, beloveds. Oh, yeah. Reverend David should be out around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.